मैं चुप रहा तो और गलत फहमियां बढ़ी. This for the court. When the court is quiet, then we don't understand what is passing in the court's mind. मैं चुप रहा तो और गलत फहमियां बढ़ी. वो भी सुना है उसने जो मैंने कहा नहीं. 34 MLAs goes that we have lost confidence. They might be disqualified, they may not be disqualified. Whatever is the consequence, forget it for the time being. Along with 2 + 7 other MLAs, that this man is not enjoying majority support. Kindly, my lord, allow me to complete. My lord, before your lordship, my lord, expresses the concern. They are not saying that we don't like him or we don't like the ABCD reasons, and therefore he has lost our confidence. Now, my lord, all these allegations, all these threats are being administered, and the governor is supposed to be not a mute spectator, because the threats are administered not as a law and order situation. The threats are administered and governor is informed that with a view to create an artificial majority, now not only threats are administered on public platforms, but really attacks are taking place. Lord, would I expect the governor to sit as a mute spectator and say that you wait till your monsoon session? This is your internal dispute. You sort it out internally. The minimum thing, my lord, the Supreme Court has said is that the governor is not only entitled, he is duty bound to hold to direct that if this is the situation, you hold a full floor test. If that, my lord, according to their perception, might aggravate the situation for the chief minister, my lord, again that consequence is not for the governor to keep in mind. If in a democratically elected body like the like a legislative assembly, if I am elected as a leader, I should not only inspire confidence at the outset, I should continue to have that confidence throughout my tenure. Otherwise, it results into complete lack of accountability and answerability, which is a facet of democracy, and it would result in complete tyranny. That now I am elected, you can do nothing to me. Look, that is not what is conceived of the governor's function, because governor comes into picture only in rare situations like this, that for whatever reasons you have lost your confidence. If 34 people have come, maybe because of my floor test, 34 may become 40. I am taking the extreme example, as your lordships have very rightly expressed the concern, that it might aggravate the situation, but that's how the democracy works. That's how, my lord, leadership works. And therefore, my lord, they say that you can inherit leadership. You cannot inherit leadership qualities. And that is where the leadership quality comes into play in a democracy.
The concern, Mr. Mehta, is that what happens is people start ditching your government. And, you ditch your government, and then for a variety of reasons, the governments and the governors are willing allies by saying, hold a trust vote. So you give sanctity to this fact.
I am not entering into the area whether they should have or they should not have. That's for them to answer.
This is a very sad spectacle, in our democracy, that, you allow...
Lord, I don't, as a governor, I can't answer that question, but otherwise, my lord, if your lordship...
This is irrespective of the morality of the Shiv Sena having joined with the INC and the...
That was also, my lord, the majority feels was a sad spectacle. My lord, ultimately, all these resolutions say that having gone before the electorate, and my lord, I would like to read, my lord, kindly allow me, my lord. Kindly allow me. In Quixote, your lordships very carefully said that when you go before the electorate, you are not going as an individual. You are going as a representative of a particular ideology. You are doing two things. A, I am representing a particular ideology, vote for me. He represents another ideology, don't vote for me. Now the situation before your lordships and before the governor was that majority of me who went with a particular ideology, particular coalition, particular, my lord, joint, my lord, program, sit with him against whom we contested the election, and majority say that this is a spectacle we would not like to be a part of. I'm not concerned as a governor. I'm not concerned as a governor. So that's, my lord.
And but they broke bread for 3 years, no?
Exactly.
They
Lord,
broke
this is a
bread with the
political
Indian
debate,
National
Lord.
Congress and
Lord,
the NCP for 3 years.
Lord, you-
What happened overnight after 3 years of a happy marriage?
My Lord, please see, my Lord, then I'll read, my Lord, what is their reason, because it's not my function to answer that. That's a political debate
The
or a...
governor has to ask himself this question.
On lighter side, you can very well say, staying together for 3 years cannot be said to be a happy life only. By that.
The governor has to ask himself this question. What were you fellows doing for 3 years?
Lord, governor has...
You're not in 1 month after the election has taken place.
Lord, kindly
I can
kindly come
understand.
to
1
page...
month after the election takes place,
Lord,
the
I
chief
have not...
minister suddenly breaks up with the bypasses the BJP and joins with the INC. And
Lord,
governor can say, sorry,
must,
there's a
Lord-
serious discontent in the party.
Lord, I...
3 years you cohabit, and then suddenly one fine day, a group of 34 say that there is discontent.
Kindly allow me to
They
place...
all went and became ministers.
Lord, the difficulty is, my Lord, out of... my Lord,
Enjoying the spoils of office, and then suddenly, one day you just...
wake up to the fact that
I leave it to your Lordship. Well, that's a political debate, but I have an answer. If your Lordship allows me, I'll answer.
You can go to the law council.
Yeah, now Chela shows the law now.
Huh?
I will.
You
But
take
before
it to
that,
the
let
law
me
first,
answer.
then there
Let me answer.
apply the later.
Well, let-
Please do one thing. You can show the law, correct? Power of the governor, what can be weighed with the government, and thereafter you take it to take us to the later, that whether it fits in that law or not.
My Lord, kindly, my Lord, note here at this page
Yes.
14 is the answer. I'll come to it later.
All.
Page 14, why these 3 years of cohabitation, my Lord, and why thereafter, my Lord, a divorce. I'll answer, but they have answered to me. They have shown it to me. Me means the governor. The governor is given why we have been together, and now why it's now or never situation, my Lord. That I'll kindly, my Lord, allow me to place it at page 14, my Lord. Now, your Lordships, my Lord, kindly take these propositions, my Lord, and that would, my Lord, perhaps answer your Lordship's questions. Because otherwise, my Lord, I may not be able to fulfill my promise of, my Lord, concluding in...
No, you're right, absolutely. I took some time out on asking.
No.
You're right, absolutely. No.
As,
It's just that sometimes, you...
just not on a lighter
Just
side.
get- no,
When the
absolutely.
court is quiet, my Lord, as I said, the arguments are longer. And, my Lord, just since everything is, my Lord, now very, very serious, and I want to start the new point not on that serious note,
let's see that.
kindly allow me to use, my Lord, one, my Lord, kindly, before your Lordship takes the proposition. Before your Lordship takes the proposition, my Lord, on a little light note, I'll start. But there is a Urdu couplet, Mr. Sibal is fond of, my Lord, both of us share that. There is a very good Urdu couplet on the situation which is arising. मैं चुप रहा तो और गलत फहमियां बढ़ी. This for the court. When the court is quiet, then we don't understand what is passing in the court's mind. मैं चुप रहा तो और गलत फहमियां बढ़ी. वो भी सुना है उसने जो मैंने कहा नहीं. So, this is...
सुना है उसने जो मैंने कहा नहीं.
वो भी सुना है उसने जो मैंने कहा नहीं. मैं चुप रहा था. So when your Lordships are quiet, we understand that there are 10 points.
Mehta, पर वो भी सुना जो मैंने कहा नहीं. What we in legal parlance call reading between the lines.
But those who write shares, they don't write for legal documentation. They write for some particular person. They write for one individual. That one individual is relevant for them, those who write.
By the way, who is the author of the couplet, Iqbal, or who is it?
No, this is Wasim Barelvi.
Oh, very fine.
Very fine. One of the top ranking alive poet who is alive. His satisfaction is limited only to the requirement of floor test and not whether A enjoys majority or B enjoys majority. Now, my Lord, your Lordship's very pertinent question was that if, I'm sorry, my Lord, your Lordship, sorry, that merely because there is some internal dissatisfaction amongst the party, can the governor take this call or not? Lord, a similar question arose, my Lord, in case of Rameshwar Prasad, where the question was that you're permitting somebody to request you to hold a floor test would violate 10th schedule. Because what these people, this group who is expressing no confidence against the chief minister, stand disqualified or will stand disqualified under the 10th schedule. And the question before the court was whether the governor, while taking a decision under say, Article 174 and 175, is concerned what will be the effect of their act ultimately in the 10th schedule. I hope I'm able to make myself clear. While taking the decision, I am supposed to be cognizant that what they are doing might be a reason for 10th schedule punishment, a consequence subsequently. Your lordships, my lord, through a constitution bench says no. That governor is agnostic to 10th schedule. He has to be satisfied that the confidence is lost prima facie. It needs to be tested on the floor. They may suffer consequence, they may not suffer consequence. That's not the governor for the governor to see. That's what your lordships have said.
There are two important things which the governor has not taken into account, which to my mind were extremely important. One, that insofar as the Congress and the NCP are concerned, there is absolutely no shaking up of there is no internal dissension in either the Congress or the NCP. Congress had 44 members, NCP had 53 members. This is a block of 97. There's absolutely no dissension in either Congress or the NCP. So in the 97 still continues to be a solid block. What is disturbed is, say, out of the 56 that the Shiv Sena had, 34 have expressed
which brings it down to your lordships are.
So out of the second thing which the governor had to bear in mind is this, that as of this date, there is not even a suggestion that the Shiv Sena is going to team up with the BJP to form the government. So that's again a circumstance which is totally alien to his consideration. So he can't be oblivious of the fact that in a three-party coalition, the dissension has taken in one party out of the three. The other two are steadfastly support the coalition, and they are not by any means, sidekicks. They are almost at par. All the three are virtually at par, except the Congress, which was a little lower.
May I only make one request. Look, to examine the facts of the case, after, my lord, I show the law, your lordships have shown, but some of the paragraphs, some of the law is unfortunately not assisted.
2006.
Thereafter also, my lord, why the governor can take that step, even if NCP Congress bloc is not disturbed? I'll, my lord, answer that. Yes.
The stark distinction so far as Rameshwar is concerned, Rameshwar government was not formed. It was at the initial stage immediately after elections.
Correct.
Where there was no party who got the majority. Instead of waiting for somebody to form a majority, the governor asked for dissolution of the House.
356, my lord, he exercised.
And the reason he has given is that if I spend more time to allow a coalition to be formed, they will cobble up a majority and thereby violate 10th schedule and then create a government. So court said the governor cannot assume that one of the political parties would go ahead, cobble up majority by coalition. This is a wrong inference that the governor has drawn. But as against Rameshwar Prasad's case, this is a case where the government is subsisting for more than 3.5 years. So that's the distinction between Rameshwar and ours. I'm just putting it to you.
Facts, yes, but the legal proposition which I would, my lord, place for your lordship's consideration may be the same. The consequence which would, the power of the governor or the exercise of power of the governor at the time of initial formation or subsequent shall have to be the same. That's my respectful submission. Please come to, my lord, now PDF page 520. Because I, my lord, with profound respect, do not see any reason to not read this ratio for exercise of power under 174 and 175 also. This was also the case where the Supreme Court said you should have called for the floor test. You could not have said that, they might incur disqualification.